Hey guys, welcome back. It's Mel here. In today's video, I am going to do a foundation and review for you guys. It's been a long time since I've done one of these, and I have a few more foundations that I still need to do reviews for you guys. So that's what we're going to do today. Today's foundation is a pretty popular one. It's the NARS Light Reflecting Foundation. So we're going to review it. I'm going to show you how it applies, what it looks like, and do a few check-ins throughout the day to see how it's wearing. If you like beauty videos, make sure to hit subscribe down below. A new video for you guys every week, and let's dive into it. Sorry, my hair is still air drying. I wanted to get this foundation on so I have enough time to wear it through the day to give like a good review for you guys. Hopefully have it on for at least 8 hours. If you're new to my channel, my skin has constantly been changing. So I was dealing with a lot of hormonal acne that kind of healed. Now I'm back to having like combo skin. I get oily in my T-zone, but right now it's winter time in Pennsylvania, so I'm feeling pretty dry in the winter months. Definitely am more oily in the warmer months, so deal with some dryness. I have a lot of redness that I deal with. Dark spots, some acne scars, dark under eye circles, and some fine lines since I am in my 30s. If you have similar skin, we're gonna see how this foundation works on our skin type. So let's talk a little bit about the foundation before we apply it. The packaging is very beautiful, very NARS. They always do the glass bottles with the black tops, and this does have a pump. I have the shade, I'm not gonna be able to pronounce this, but it's L4, I believe. Deauville. I'm not sure. But I feel like this is a pretty good winter match for me. We'll see how it works. Let me pull it up on Ulta to tell you a little bit more about the foundation. Okay, I just pulled it up on Ulta. It is the Light Reflecting Advanced Skincare Foundation. It currently has 4.5 stars review, 3,343 reviews, so I feel like it has a pretty good rating. One thing that I've always loved about NARS is their shade options. This foundation comes in 46 options. That is pretty impressive. What I say, I have L4. So L4 is light with neutral undertones. Still always trying to figure out my undertone. I never know because my face does have a lot more redness and coolness, where I feel like my body has a little bit more of a warmer yellow olivey undertone. So it's kind of hard to balance it. So usually a neutral works pretty good for me. It does retail for $55, so it's on the higher end for foundations, and you do get the typical 1 fluid ounce. Let's see a little bit about it. It's a hybrid that instantly blurs, smooths, while visibly improving skin's clarity over time. Breathable, medium buildable foundation, conceals redness, dark spots, blurs wrinkles, pores, and texture. That's pretty much like everything I need. Has 70% skincare ingredients for most skin types, including sensitive, all-day wear. Got an Allure Beauty Award in 2022, so that's pretty impressive. And on here it says it's a clean ingredient beauty product. So let's get into applying the foundation. One side I will use a brush, and the other side I use a sponge. Lately, or at least this year, I have just been constantly just using a brush for applying my base products. I don't know, it's just quick, easy, usually my go-to. I haven't used a sponge in a while, but we'll use a sponge today for those people who like to use sponges for their face products. Also, if you hear my dogs in the background, I apologize in advance. They're in like a crazy hyper playing mode. Shake her up. I am just gonna apply some on the back of my hand. We'll start out with one pump. And I'm gonna start out with a sponge. It's a pretty good color match, I feel like. Nothing's on my skin. I'm definitely gonna have to use another pump. The sponge just always soaks so much product up. Again, nothing on my skin but skincare, which is generally just like a moisturizer, SPF, and some under eye cream. Okay, that's one light layer of the 2 pumps off my hand. I feel like it's a pretty good color match. It's probably a smidge light, but once we add like bronzer and everything, I think it'll be fine. Okay, there's a lot of glow coming through with using the sponge. I kind of want to build it up just a little bit more, maybe add another pump just to my really red areas, which is usually around my nose and cheeks. Okay, so I feel like the sponge soaked up a lot of this product, and I had to use almost 4 pumps. I added a little bit more so I could blend it down my neck just for a more seamless look. But I feel like it used up a lot. The coverage, we'll have to compare to the brush, but I feel like I've used this foundation usually with a brush, and I feel like this definitely sheared it out and left a lot more glow on my skin. And I still feel like some redness is peeking through here, but it's real minimal. But it does look very beautiful, very skin-like. All right, I'm gonna apply this side with a brush. I think I will just apply 3 pumps. Actually, I'm gonna start with 2 on my hand. Just take some on the brush and just start building it. I have a feeling that the brush won't need as many pumps. Okay, so full face is on. Here's the side with the brush. Does still have a good amount of luminosity coming through. Definitely got a lot more coverage with the brush and didn't have to use as much product. I did use 3 pumps just because I really wanted to drag it down my neck today to have more of like a seamless look. And I feel like putting it on my hand and then grabbing on the brush, I feel like a lot stayed behind on my hand. So I feel like I could probably get away with 2 pumps with the brush, but you'll definitely use a lot less product using the brush and you'll probably get more coverage with the brush. My preference is the brush, but it does work beautifully both ways, but I definitely feel like I have more glow on this side with the sponge. This side I have a lot of glow still, but I feel like it's not as glowy as the other side we use with the sponge. Okay, I'm going to attempt to zoom you guys in so we can get a closer look of what it looks like on the skin. Okay, up close and personal. Here it is on the skin. It's a pretty good color match, so it kind of just looks like my skin but better. Not settling in any of the fine lines right now. Not bad on the sides of my nose. So a lot of glow coming through, which is good if you have dry skin, but is it blurring my texture? I feel like it definitely softened my texture, but there's still a amount of glow in my T-zone. So if you don't use a lot of concealer or powders after a product and you have a lot of pores, or a lot of texture, I don't know if this is the most blurring you're gonna get, but it is very reflecting, so your skin just looks very healthy and glowy and very natural without feeling heavy or cakey. It does look pretty smooth though. Like I have a lot of texture and bumps on the side of my face, but it looks like it kind of minimized that. And same with my wrinkles on my forehead. It's not settling in them and it kind of softens them. Overall, very, very beautiful. All right guys, so overall it looks beautiful on the skin. I am just gonna finish my makeup. I'll pop back on here to show you the final completed look, what it looks like with everything else on top and how everything kind of worked with it. And then I'll do a few check-ins throughout the day. So I'll be right back. Alright guys, I'm back. Just finished my makeup, threw on something, was playing around a little bit. It is now, what time is it? Dang, I wanted this on sooner. I'm sorry. It's 12:51. But I will have it on hopefully up to 8 hours so you guys can see how it wears throughout the day. I'll do a few check-ins. But everything applied beautifully on top. I feel like it's looking very skin-like. This is a great color match for me. Even after applying powder and concealer, I still feel like it looks very skin-like. It doesn't look cakey or crusty or anything. Everything applied beautifully on top. It looks like my skin just kind of flawless. It's kind of crazy how beautiful this does look with everything on top. And I feel like it's not a super glowy foundation, even though it's like light reflecting. I feel like it's not super glowy, that I feel like if you have oily skin or you're worried about a glowy, shiny product, I feel like it's not very glowy. I feel like it's kind of like what it says. It just kind of reflects in those areas where you want it to look very skin-like, but it is very beautiful and I like it. We'll have to see how it wears throughout the day. I have had this foundation for a while. It's just not something I always pick for. Maybe because it's more of a winter color for me. It's a little more pale on the pale side, so I really don't use it in the summer or when I have more of a tan. But maybe if I just keep using it and see how it wears, maybe I will fall in love with it. I just haven't used it enough to really make that connection, but it is a very beautiful foundation. Let me zoom you guys in so you can see close up. All right guys, here we are up close and personal with all the makeup on. So my skin looks very even. A lot of my freckles and dark spots are very minimized. So I do have very big pores on my nose, and also that is where I removed my nose ring. So I'm gonna have like a little permanent hole. It's not looking the best on the nose. As you can see, there's some caking, but I just struggle with that area in general, and I usually don't worry too much about it. But yeah, it is kind of showing. It's kind of showing a lot of the pore area there, but I just have big pores on my nose. This side's not as bad, so it's just really the one side, but that's okay. But it doesn't look cakey, like it's not settling in any of my forehead lines. Again, it looks very beautiful on the skin. It looks very smooth. I'm actually surprised how smooth it does look for being a more like, not glowy, but they say light reflecting, but it does make your skin look pretty smooth. I do have a lot of texture, so this is pretty smoothing. And I'm surprised how good my fine lines look on my forehead. Usually products really sink in them, but they're actually looking pretty minimized. But yeah, overall, it's looking very beautiful. All right, guys, so again, it is about 12:50. Again, it's almost 1 o'clock, so I'll do a check-in in a few hours to show you how it's all looking, and then I'll do another 1 or 2 to show you how it works throughout the day. But overall, it's a very beautiful foundation. Let's just see if it has the wear power. All right, I'll see you in a bit. Hey guys, we are back. It is now about 5:43, so it's been a little longer than I wanted to do a check-in, but it's all right. I will have to say I'm looking pretty shiny in my T-zone. A little oily, very, very glowy. So I would say if you have oily skin, I don't know if she's going to be for you unless you have a really good mattifying primer, which I didn't use, or you like bake, which I didn't bake either. So you can see, I mean, the glow is beautiful, but you can see on my nose, so shiny and glowy. Again, in the winter months, I am more dry, but I'd rather be oily than more dry. I'd rather get oily than get dry. In my personal experience, I've experienced both, and I still prefer to be oily over being dry. I feel like oily, you can powder, you can blot, you can do more things, where once you're dry and have makeup on, it's so hard to recover from dryness. Let's take a closer look. Okay, we're up close and personal, but again, it still looks beautiful, and I feel like the coverage has not budged. I ate some food, I was kind of laying on the couch, so we're still looking pretty good after all that. Again, it kind of gets splotchy up here because I'm constantly touching my hair, but other than that, it is still on pretty strong. The only thing we really got going on is the glow, but it hasn't settled in my lines. As you can see in my forehead lines, no settling, and no settling in my smile lines either. The nose hasn't gotten worse, it's just gotten shiny, but it still looks very skin-like, and the coverage is still there. It's still very pretty looking. All right, so I'll be back in a little to probably do the final check-in and give you guys my final thoughts. Again, it is 5:47, so I will see you in a few more hours. All right, guys, I am back. It is now 10:08, so pretty late. So I've had this foundation on for a while. Overall, it's pretty shiny, pretty glowy in the T-zone, pretty much all over my face, but the coverage is still there. We're off a little bit, but we're still looking pretty glowy and shiny. Let's do one final close-up. So, I mean, we're looking pretty shiny, but it's not terrible. I feel like my texture is only really emphasized in the center. I feel like everything else kind of still looks pretty blurred, and the coverage is still there, but again, very, very shiny. But no settling in my fine lines, and a lot of the makeup is still holding on, which is pretty good. The nose has definitely gotten worse on each side, but overall, it's doing okay. Overall, this foundation I really enjoy. I do feel like I have makeup on my face, so I don't know if that's my favorite. Feel pretty glowy, kind of oily in my T-zone, which is not normal for me, especially right now during the winter months with having more dry skin, but I kind of like that. So if you have super oily skin, I'm not sure if this foundation will work for you, but I love the coverage. I love that it's buildable. I love that it looks like skin. It is so pretty. It's not my favorite though, but I do like it. So I feel like if you're gonna invest $55 for a foundation, make sure maybe try it out before you do invest, just because again, you have to see how it works on your skin. But overall, I do enjoy it. It'll be nice to wear during the winter that I don't feel like it's going to dry me up more than I already am. And the coverage is very beautiful, and I love that it's buildable and it looks very skin-like. Thank you guys so much for watching, and if you love a foundation, let me know down below what you like. If you're new here, make sure to hit subscribe before you leave, and thank you guys so much for watching. I appreciate all your love and support, and I'll see you next time. Bye!